That moment when you go to stand up from a chair and your knees feel like they might give out, that's not just aging. That's a specific muscle failing to do its job, and once you know which one it is, you can fix it. Most people assume weak knees mean a knee problem. They don't. In the majority of cases over the age of 75, weak knees are a quadriceps problem. The muscle that's supposed to be controlling your knee has lost so much strength that the joint is basically working on its own, unsupported, unstable, and taking on load it was never designed to handle alone. Here's what nobody tells you. You don't need a gym, a physical therapist on speed dial, or a complicated routine. You need one exercise, done correctly, done daily. And in this video, you're going to learn exactly how to do it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why your knees feel the way they do, what's actually happening inside the joint when the quad gives up, and how a single targeted movement done for 10 minutes every morning can change the way you stand, walk, and climb stairs within 3 to 4 weeks. This isn't a roundup of 5 exercises for knee pain. This is one exercise, taught in complete detail with every common mistake corrected before you make it. That specificity is what makes the difference between something that works and something that just fills time. Stay with this until the end, because the section on foot position alone is going to change how you do this movement and probably every leg exercise you've ever done. Why your knees feel weak. Your knee joint is essentially a hinge. Bones meet, cartilage cushions, ligaments hold the structure together. But the movement of that hinge, the ability to extend your leg, push up from a chair, absorb the impact of a step, and control your descent down a staircase, that's entirely the job of the quadriceps. The quadriceps is actually 4 muscles that converge into one tendon and attach just below your kneecap. When they contract, your leg straightens. When you lower yourself into a chair, they're working eccentrically, meaning they're lengthening under load to control how fast you descend. When you rise back up, they're contracting concentrically to push you to standing. When the quadriceps weakens, which happens progressively after 60 and accelerates significantly after 70, the knee has to compensate. The cartilage takes on more compression, the ligaments take on more shear force. The joint itself starts to feel unstable because it is unstable. The pain and the stiffness and the grinding sensation aren't the cause of your weak knees, they're the result. A 2019 study published in Arthritis Care and Research found that quadriceps weakness was present in over 80% of adults over 70 who reported difficulty with daily tasks like rising from a chair or walking on uneven ground. More importantly, targeted quad strengthening, done consistently over just 6 weeks, produced measurable improvements in both pain levels and functional mobility, independent of body weight or joint damage. This matters because it means the condition of your cartilage or the X-ray appearance of your knee is not the ceiling on what you can do. Strengthening the muscle changes the equation regardless of what's happening inside the joint. Seated leg extension. The exercise is the seated leg extension, not the machine version at a gym, the bodyweight version you can do in any chair in your home starting today with nothing but gravity and the weight of your own leg. Before you dismiss it as too simple, understand this. The reason physical therapists return to this movement again and again with older adults is because it isolates the quadriceps with almost no load on the joint itself, making it the safest and most direct way to rebuild quad strength when the knee is already compromised. Done at the right tempo with the right cues, it is one of the most demanding movements you can perform for the front of your thigh. Here's how to do it correctly from the very beginning. Getting into position. Sit toward the front half of your chair. Don't lean all the way back against the backrest. You want your torso upright, your spine neutral, and your hips at roughly a 90-degree angle. Both feet should be flat on the floor, hip-width apart, directly below your knees. Place your hands lightly on your thighs or the sides of the chair seat. You're not using your arms to help with the movement. They're just there for a light sense of stability. If you find yourself gripping the chair hard during the exercise, that's a cue that something in your form has broken down. Lower the leg, reset, and try again. Setting up the working leg. You're going to work one leg at a time. Start with whichever leg feels weaker or more problematic. There's always one side that lags behind, and setting a stronger foundation by giving it priority. Before you lift anything, do this. Flex your foot so your toes are pulling back towards your shin. Not pointed, not neutral, actively flexed. This position matters enormously. When your foot is flexed, the tibialis anterior muscle on your shin engages, which creates a stabilizing chain up through the lower leg and into the knee. It also prevents the tendency to recruit the hip flexors during the lift, which is the single most common error people make with this movement. Keep that foot flexed for the entire exercise, every rep. The moment your foot relaxes, you've shifted the work away from where it needs to go. Lifting the leg. Take a breath in. As you exhale, slowly straighten your working leg, lifting your foot up until your leg is fully extended and as close to parallel to the floor as possible. The key word here is slowly. You're counting 3 full seconds on the way up. Not 2, not 1, 3. At the top of the movement, your leg should be straight but not hyperextended. There should be a very slight softness at the knee. You're not jamming the joint into a locked position. You're finding the end range of the extension and holding there. Now, squeeze. Actively contract your quadriceps at the top of the movement and hold for 2 full seconds. You should feel the muscle on the front of your thigh tighten noticeably. If you don't feel it there, your form has drifted somewhere. Lower the leg, reset, and try again. Lowering the leg. This is the part most people rush, and it's the part that does the most work. Lower your leg back to the starting position over 4 full seconds. Count it out loud if you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, until your foot is flat on the floor again. The eccentric phase of this movement, the lowering, is the part that the quadriceps builds the specific kind of strength that controls your descent into a chair, your step down from a curb, and your ability to manage a slope without your knees buckling. If you rush the lowering, you're skipping the most functionally important part of the exercise. Once your foot touches the floor, take a breath, reset your posture, reflex your foot, and go again.
How many reps? Start with 10 repetitions on each side. At the tempo described, 3 seconds up, 2-second hold, 4 seconds down. 10 reps will take you approximately 90 seconds per leg. That's 3 minutes total for both sides. Rest for 60 seconds between sides. Do not add repetitions until your form is perfect. Perfect means the foot stays flexed, the quad contracts at the top, the descent is fully controlled, and your torso doesn't lean back to compensate for the lift. If any of those things are breaking down before rep 10, stop at 8 and build from there. The mistake that makes this exercise useless. There is one compensation pattern that shows up so consistently in this movement that it deserves its own section. As the quadriceps fatigues, usually somewhere between rep 5 and rep 8, the body starts cheating. The torso leans back slightly, the hip flexor flexes more aggressively, and the leg effectively gets swung upward rather than extended upward. It looks almost identical to the correct movement. The leg goes up, the leg comes down. The rep gets counted, but the quadriceps barely participated. Here's how you catch it. If you feel the work primarily in the front of your hip rather than the front of your thigh, the hip flexor is driving the movement. Stop. Sit forward in the chair, restack your posture, flex your foot hard, and begin again more slowly. If slowing down doesn't fix it, reduce your range of motion. Instead of lifting to full extension, lift only to about 45 degrees. At that reduced range, keep the tempo strict and the quad engaged. Build range gradually over days, not within a single session. The other compensation to watch for is the breath hold. When people concentrate hard on a movement, they tend to stop breathing. A held breath increases internal abdominal pressure, which destabilizes the spine and actually reduces the efficiency of the muscle contraction. Keep breathing. Exhale on the lift, inhale on the lower. If you lose that rhythm, rest for 10 seconds and restart. How to make it harder over time. After 2 weeks of daily practice with body weight, you can introduce a light ankle weight to increase the resistance. Start with 1 pound. Not 2, not 3, 1 pound, because the leverage effect of a weight at the ankle is much greater than it appears. A 1 pound ankle weight feels like considerably more than 1 pound when your leg is fully extended. Add weight only when you can complete 3 sets of 12 reps on each side with perfect form at the full tempo. If form breaks down at any point after adding weight, remove the weight and spend another week building without it. The progression after that follows a simple rule. Add half a pound every 2 weeks, provided form is solid. Most people find a meaningful training stimulus somewhere between 1 and 3 pounds of ankle weight, which is well within what a basic set of adjustable ankle weights, available for well under $20, can provide. There is also a standing variation of this exercise that introduces an important balance component once the seated version becomes manageable. Standing beside a counter with one hand lightly resting on the surface, you perform the same leg extension, but now your standing leg is working to stabilize your entire body at the same time. This bridges the gap between isolated quad strengthening and the real-world demand of walking, stepping, and recovering from a stumble. Don't rush to the standing version. 4 to 6 weeks of the seated version first. The foundation has to be there before you add the balance challenge. Here's what 10 minutes every morning actually produces when you stay consistent. By the end of week 1, you'll start to notice that rising from a chair requires slightly less effort. Not dramatically, slightly. That's the neuromuscular system responding, the muscle learning to fire more efficiently before any significant structural change has occurred. By week 2 to 3, the quad muscle itself begins to hypertrophy, to grow, and the increase in cross-sectional muscle mass starts to translate into real changes in how the knee feels under load. The grinding sensation many people describe often diminishes because the muscle is now absorbing more of the force that was previously going directly into the joint. By week 4 to 6, most people report meaningful changes in stair climbing, walking distance, and the confidence to move on uneven surfaces. That last one, confidence, is not a minor thing. Fear of falling changes how people move, and how people move accelerates decline. When the knee feels stable, the gait pattern normalizes, and that normalization cascades into better balance, better posture, and better energy over the course of a day. This is not a promise of a cure for arthritis or a reversal of structural joint changes. It is a well-supported, clinically grounded outcome that occurs when the quadriceps is consistently trained and the knee is properly supported by the muscle around it. You came into this video knowing your knees felt weak. You're leaving it with a specific reason why, a specific exercise to address it, and every technical detail you need to do that exercise correctly from day 1. Now it's your turn. Try 3 reps right now before you click away from this video. Sit at the edge of your chair, flex your foot, and do 3 slow, controlled extensions on each side. Just 3. Feel where the work lands. Feel the difference a 2-second hold makes at the top. Then come back tomorrow morning and do 10. If you found this useful, share it with someone you know who's been struggling to get up from a chair or has been avoiding stairs. They may not know that what they're experiencing is fixable, and this video is exactly the kind of thing that changes that. And I want to hear from you. Before you watch this, did you think weak knees were a knee problem, or did you already suspect the muscle was involved? Tell me in the comments. I read every one, and those answers shape what we make next. I'll see you in the next one.